Hello, brave awakened ones. This is Veronica of Higher Realm Holistics, certified integrative holistic health nurse, medical empathic intuitive, author, spiritual counselor, and guide. If you're interested in any of my services, spiritual counseling, holistic health counseling, um, webinars, virtual healing circles, which I'm starting up in February. And if you're interested in my children's book, How the Caterpillar Flew, if you're interested in activating a child in your life to their hidden potential, this is my book on sale on my website. Lovely book. Rhymes, amazing illustrations and colors and everything like that. And I also would like to say thank you to my subscribers, to my Patreons, and supporters. How you doing? I know I'm feeling some type of way. I've been in tears for the past couple of days because it has been a horrendous week. Today's the 27th, I take it, right? Monday, January 2019. Whoo, yeah. Like I said, January is going to be a doozy. Okay, got off, blast off, blast off. Okay, this first quarter of 2019 is mighty intense because it's preparing you to literally start, what did my oversoul call it? Your divine, your destiny. Destiny is calling. Yeah. So Destiny's been knocking on my door. Started seeing the number 717 for most of the part of January, and Friday it got really intense. I'm gonna tell you a little story what happened to me on Friday, okay? Because I know this is happening to almost every light worker who is at this point, whether it be work wise, for me, work situation wise, or relationship wise. And I'll tell you something that happened to a friend of mine. Hopefully, she won't mind, but I won't tell her full story. But it's along the same lines of, again, like my oversoul said, watch the cosmos. And Thoth said to me, keep an eye on the cosmos. The cosmos are very important, the alignment of the planets, what's going on, those energies up there. And right now, it's about all the planets being forward. They're all forward. They're in their home signs. And with Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus, Mars are like the most important energies right now that we're dealing with. They're calling us to our destiny, I was told. That's the word I keep hearing. They're calling us to our destiny. Now, Friday, bam, I start hearing that. Destiny's calling you. Destiny's calling you. And then I saw the number 717 in my mind's eye. But I've been seeing that number, right? For January, I've been seeing 717. And I knew it meant Destiny's calling, but it was like loud on Friday that just passed, last Friday. I'm like, okay. Now here's what I was doing Friday. I was told by a friend of a position for a surgical nurse. That was a procedural nurse that was open at a freestanding clinic that did special procedures, which is what I was doing instead of working at a hospital. And she's like, they have a couple of places, you could work at either one. And she said, somebody else had worked there, a manager that I had worked with had worked there only for a few months. She said, oh yeah, it's okay to work there. They pay great, right? They were paying more than what I was looking for. I was like, okay, fine, great. Emailed, immediately got an interview. Went in for my interview. Was feeling about it during the interview, to be honest. And I was told, I did a phone interview first. I was told one thing over the phone, money-wise. And I said, oh, we'll discuss it when you get there. That's always the red signal. Burp, burp, burp. And honestly, yes, I know. My oversoul did tell me back in the summertime, after that big fiasco in New York, which was a whole setup, universal divine setup for me in New York, that I will no longer be working in conventional medicine, no longer be working in the 3D world. And that was that. That was it for me. But I still have been trying. And because of my financial situation, it's like the holidays, business was like really crappy. And I've been trying to do everything I can, everything I'm guided to do, everything, all the videos, everything I'm guided to do, I've been doing. But I'm like, okay, fine. I'm tired of constantly scrimping and saving and trying to do this and trying to do that. Sister needs a break. God, oversoul. And I just keep told, you will get your divine recompense. You will get your divine compensation. You will get your divine recompense. I'm like, okay, it'd be nice to get some of it now. But any which ways, so I was like, meh, iffy. It already hit me funny. I get to the interview, I notice, for a facility that size, it's not a tiny clinic. This is a surgical facility with, 4 operating rooms. 3 physicians run it and own it. And I'm just like, not a single black person working there. So I'm like, okay, kind of weird. We're in South Florida and there's not a single black person here. I found that kind of strange. So that was one thing. Went through the interview. They were immediately interested in me because of my experience and where I worked. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I was like, okay, how about the salary? I know it's supposed to be this. Oh, no, I'll see if I can get that for you, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right. Then I was told to come in and shadow another facility in Miami Beach, which was closer to my home instead of going all the way to Fort Lauderdale. So I'm like, okay, fine. Am I getting paid? Oh, we'll discuss that. Again, I'm just like, okay, strike 10, but I'm going to do it anyway because I was quote unquote desperate. Here's what happens when you're freaking desperate and do things out of desperation, people. I'm going to let you know right now what happened. I'm going to come full out with it. So the amount quoted to me was $10 less an hour than what I was originally told. And everyone's like, just take it for now till you catch up on your bills. It won't be that long. Things can get better. You just need to, because you took all that time off because your mom was sick, you need to make up for it, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do that. So I went in Friday, but again, I woke up Friday hearing Destiny's calling you. I was like, what the, okay. I thought, oh, is this part of my destiny? I was like, okay, maybe this is part of my destiny. Who knows? I'll meet somebody there. Something's going to happen. It's supposed to happen. I kept hearing Destiny's calling you. So then I go in, and within the first 30 minutes of me being there, a patient codes, respiratory arrest, boop, stop breathing, right? And I went in to help with the code, and the director of the facility, he's one of the 3 owners, one of the 3 physicians that owns, it's like 4 clinics all over Southern Florida, really showed his ass. I was already told he was nasty. I could tell he was nasty because when I went in and said good morning, he just looked at me and went like this. He went like that and just kept going on his computer. I was like, okay. I'm supposed to be working with you, sedating patients for you, and you can't even look up and shake my hand. I was like, whatever the fuck, whatever. I just walked away and said, oh, that's just the way he is. Trust me, he's the nicer one of the 3. I'm just like, what are the other assholes going to be like? So this patient, the doctor told the nurse who was in there, this white dude, what to give him. And not only that, everybody was female. Both of the facilities I visit, everyone was female except there was one guy. So there was one male tech in Broward, and there was one male nurse. I'm talking out of 40 employees, one male. So damn well, it's like these 3 male doctors, I already can smell it. I've been in this situation before where it's like they have their harem, and they could treat them however they want. And actually, both of those guys, they were both gay. On top of that, they were both gay. So, again, that whole lion and the lioness thing going there. So I come in for the code. We get the patient okay. even while, I mean, it wasn't that bad. Patient not breathing for just a minute. She, old lady, smoking for 40 years, having a procedure done. It happens. That's what happens with those smokers. So it was easy just to reverse and stuff like that. It didn't take much. But I got the pleasure of seeing that doctor really show his ass, even more than he did when he wouldn't even greet me. He turned around to the nurse and he's like, "Oh, God damn it, are you an effing retard?" He's like, and the nurse is like, I gave the amount I was supposed to give in sedation. And he's like, "Why are you even talking to me? You know what? Just get the F out of my face. I can't even look at you right now because, you're the nurse and you're the one who's supposed to be monitoring the patient. Okay? If you don't think that's the right amount for her, then you shouldn't have given it." So I was like, oh, immediately. I've dealt with this shit before where they tell you to do something and then they blame you when something goes wrong. And he just kept cursing at the guy. Now everyone is still sterile, right? So they needed to move the table, the OR table with the remote. So the tech asked me, "Oh, Veronica, could you do this for me?" So I went and I grabbed the remote, right? Put on a mask, put on a hair thing, so I could move the table up. Now I was about to touch the X-ray machine, interventional radiology machine that was on top of the patient. So I stopped the patient just short. And then the physician looks at me, wearing his mask. Mind you, I'm wearing a mask too. And he's like, "Ugh, what part of put the table up all the way didn't you understand?" Now, this fool don't know me, okay? So I gently put down the remote. Mind you, I have my mask. And I just was like, he got the hint. Because I just gave him side. I was just like, then he's like, "Ugh, can you just please put the table up all the way?" So that's what he said to me. So I was like, okay. So I put the table up all the way. Patient was like stuck to the machine. He's like, "Put it up more." I said, "That's as far as it goes." Fine. I walked out of the room. I said, "I don't ever want to work with that man." And everybody finds it funny. Everybody tolerates it. The nurse I was shadowing switched places with the OR nurse. She was preing and posting. So I went in there into the OR and with her. And she's like, "Ugh, he'll hate you today but love you tomorrow. It's just the way he is. He does that, I'm like, and you guys let him? You let him curse at you that way? You let him degrade you?" And the whole time he would be berating everybody. Just constant. It was constant. When I say not a single kind word, not a please or a thank you came out of this fool's mouth. I kid you not. Now, I've dealt with stuff like that before in hospitals, especially when you're in high intensity areas, ICUs, ORs, and ERs. People get like that, but most doctors know. And they could tell who they could mess with and who they can't mess with. And I was never one to be messed with. And I have put down bigger people than him. Director of cardiology. I wrote him up because I was not going to tolerate him yelling at me. And he had to actually literally write me an apology letter because I was like, no, not having it. So, but to work in a spot in a facility where the doctor is the owner and he's the one disrespecting you, there's no one above him. So I said I was going to go put money in my meter because in Miami Beach, there was no parking. And I never came back. Never came back. And I was like, okay, I got it. Destiny's calling. That is not my destiny. Because on top of that, it was 717 when I pulled up to the facility. When I got out of my car, it was I saw 717 on somebody's license plate right next to me. And then when I got up to the office, tell me how this happened. It was 717 when I got up to the office and their clock said 717. Okay. And then when I got home, it was 717 again. So and I kept hearing Destiny's Calling. And then I have not touched my Oracle cards in a while. And I was guided, it's like, go to this Oracle deck and just shuffle the cards. And the card fell out saying, excuse me, time to go. That was the name of the card, time to go. And then when you read the description of it, it said, Destiny's Calling. I'm like, okay. And I kept remembering something the Leo King said, which my oversoul said, that this week, because of the energies, it's make up your mind. It is make up your mind as in, when something's not fit for you, when something is not part of your destiny. It has served its purpose. It is rancid at that time. It is rancid. And I'm talking about work, relationships. It is literally rancid. And it's time to dump it and go. Because if you don't, that's it. You're fucked. You're not going to be on your destined path, and that's it. Or if you don't, your oversoul could just drag you out. Which happened to my friend. She called me up on Sunday, but it happened to her on Saturday, where there was a relationship she was in, which I had warned her about. I knew it was not part of her destiny, and I knew it would end bad if she didn't end it, and that's exactly what happened. It ended up getting physical. She ended up running out. Either leave or be chased out. That's the way it is right now for light workers. And like I said, I've been upset and crying because I'm like, I know I've leveled up in my light work, and like I'm a guardian and all this stuff, and you have me doing this, and the energies I've been dealing with have been so freaking intense. And this morning, same times as usual, like around 4:00, Yeshua himself, because I was praying to Yeshua, he was right there, so bright. I haven't seen him so clear in such a long time. And he said to me, your entire body is being used. We need your entire essence. All of you is being used right now, and you shall be recompensed. And then this pillar of white light shot through me and like exploded, and it was connected to the moon somehow. And it was just like, oh my god, like I'm literally like this thing. And it feels so out of my control. That's what it feels like, and that's what upset me so much. It felt so out of my control. Like, even before, when I was grounding energies, I felt a little more in control. But now it's just like, ever since the eclipse, it's like, okay, your body's being used for this, you're being used for that. Time to connect with these other people and beings, and you're connected. It's like, oh, I'm not going to say no, because I have free will to say no, but I'm not going to say no. If this is who and what I am, it's who and what I am. But I also know I have my pocket of heaven to build on earth. And I'm preparing for it. This is what I'm doing. I'm preparing for it. And having to get rid of that line of work that I was so involved in, conventional medicine, because it has served its purpose. It is rancid in my life, just like there's a lot of rancid things going on in your lives too, that are blowing up in your faces. Like, all I kept seeing was stuff blowing up. That's for me and everyone else. So yeah, that's what's going on, and it's going to keep going on this quarter. It's going to keep going on this quarter for us to be ready in April. So I'm excited for April, and I know things. If we let go, if we don't keep fighting it, and I made the decision, I'm not gonna look up any more jobs. I'm not gonna take any more job suggestions from anybody when it comes to that. I'm just going to, like I did. I had already put together the webinar for teachings months ago when it came to the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets, which I finally listed and made a video of yesterday. So I'm going to do that. And I was also, again, guided to go back to doing my healing circles, my virtual healing Reiki circles. and EFT tapping. So I'm offering that again because I stopped offering that like in beginning of December. So I'm focusing on my path, my 5D path, and my 5D path alone, and leaving 3D alone where it belongs. So guys, if you need help leaving 3D alone, you can book an appointment with me, HiramHolistics.com. I put so many meditations out there and activations. You could do them also. They will still be helpful towards you. And tapping's a lovely thing. Oh, getting that energy flowing. Tapping. Yeah, I'm certified in EFT tapping. So if you need coaching in that, you could book an appointment for that too. So, okay, guys, that's it. All right, so hang in there. I'm hanging in there. Let's just hang in there together. Okay, we've already won. It's just now getting into place, getting into our own perspective places, letting anything rancid, cleaning out what needs to be cleaned out, cleaning out the closet like I was shown, sweeping it out. All the dead relationships, dead jobs, all that stuff. We have to sweep it out. All right, so peace. We got this. We're punch drunk, but we got this. Lady V out.